In 2002, Chrome Studios released a little platform where critters from the land down under become the top dog. This fun little game from my childhood will finally see a resurface into my life as I reminisce about the good times where I didn't have to pay money to the big guy in order to survive, and instead, I have to pay lunch money to the school bully in order to... Hey, wait a minute! Welcome back, I'm the Late Night Gamer. In order to complete this game from down under, I have to jump, bite, throw, swim, collect a lot of pretty things, and most importantly, acquire all 39 Steve achievements. Oh, and I guess save Ty's parents from a tyrannical megalomaniac who's hell-bent on deracing the world of mammals because he's literally a chicken. This is how I got 100% in Ty the Tasmanian tiger. Right from the get-go, we are introduced to a neat little cutscene, introducing us to the core concept of the game. Here we learn that the evil chicken by the name of Boss Cass is the best character in the game. Then, we're introduced to the hero story and the namesake of the game, Ty, the Tasmanian tiger. Once the gameplay actually starts, the first thing we do is rather simple. Now, you may be wondering, why was the first thing I did jump to my death? That's actually quite simple. It was to get the first of 39 achievements, and that leads me to how we're getting to 100%. With Ty releasing back in the good old early 2000s, after the not good part of it, what we gotta do is complete everything in each level, collect all of the boomerangs, or rings, save our family from the dreaming, acquire all 39 achievements, and naturally, look cool while doing so. The first achievement that I unlocked was the Not Your Proudest Moment achievement for losing a life in the starting area. Specifically the Rainbow Cliffs, and not on a level. Regardless, now that that's been taken care of, it's time to head to the first of 3 level selection areas where our good friend Mari the bird introduces us to the crazy but not mad scientist by the name of Julius. Before Julius goes on a long explanation, our job is to go into the available levels and acquire a total of 17, not 17, 17, there we go, of 17 special rocks called Thunder Eggs. Why do we need Thunder Eggs instead of batteries?
If only it was that easy. You see, this machine doesn't just find where the talismans are, it actually teleports them here. Struck me lucky. And that, my friends, requires a great deal of energy.
Yeah, so since we need all 5 talismans to save Ty's parents, I guess we need to go hunting for some shiny rocks. However, before we do that, we have to meet up with Murray in the tutorial level by the name of 2-Up. And I keep wanting to call him Maurice, or Mari. Maria? I don't know. Mori. Mari? Mori. After a rough landing and a brief rundown, it's time for me to explain the basics as to how each level works. Each of the 9 levels contain the following: 8 Thunder Eggs, 5 Imprisoned Friends, 300 Opals, 10 Golden Cogs, a set of amount of pictures with each level having a different amount, and a time attack that is only accessible at the beginning of the level after completing the level's main questline. Simple, repetitive, and yet really replayable. I love this game. In 2-Up, we simply need to acquire a second boomerang to acquire a Thunder Egg. And since this is the tutorial level, the Thunder Eggs are ridiculously easy. How easy, you ask? I jumped 3 times and got my first one. Minus missing jumps, but quick, cut. Can you cut to Murray, please? Cut. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. 1 down, 71 to go. Come on, let's get a move on.
As we progress through the level, we are stopped very often by Mari. Oh, I'm gonna hate this name. We're stopped by Bird Boy in order for him to give us the rundown for basically everything you can do in the game, along with either a small little story such as Bird Boy being clobbered by frills, or how he heard about someone doing something that just so happens to be related to what we need to do. After constant jumping, throwing rangs, and biting a lot of enemies, talking to Julius about golden cogs, and almost drowning, I finally acquire the coveted 2 rangs are better than 1 achievement. But there's a slight catch.
Well, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. You actually found the second boomerang. Well, there's no time to sit around and feel all pleased with yourself. You're gonna have to put that new ring to use. You see, I had a Thunder Egg I was gonna give you, but a bunch of frills stole it. You'll have to take them all on to get it back.
So with 8 frills to take down, I head over to the nearby Golden Cog first. Afterwards, instead of trying out throwing 2 boomerangs, I use a neat skill that the game doesn't tell you about and charge up my bite attack. In one fell swoop, I bite and defeat all 8 frills. This is a neat little trick that the game only really hints at. You see, when you collect 100 opals, you gain a counter. This is solely to let you know how many times you can use your charged bite, or super bite. One of the two. The sweet thing about this little move is that while you're charging your bite, you can attract nearby opals, and when you finally let go, you'll be flung into nearby enemies and crates. There's literally no control as to where you go once you're sent flying though, so try not to fling yourself into a group of enemies that you can't take down. After collecting my Thunder Egg, I head to the end of the map, learn how to glide, and mess with some shrooms to be teleported back to the beginning of 2-Up. This was so I could do the time attack and win another Thunder Egg. Unfortunately, when I tried to do the time attack, my game crashed. I tried again, and my game crashed. After a few more times, I decided to give up on it for now and instead progress the game. Once we jump into the portal back to the Bly station, we get a neat little cutscene.
I found it! I found it!
Let me see that. At last, a mystic talisman. It's time to move out. We got 4 more talismans to find. You there, fetch my bags. Soon unimaginable power will be mine.
So it looks like Boss Cass is ahead of the game and has a talisman. There's only one thing we can do now, and that's learn how to swim. Luckily for Ty, I know a guy. Hopping into shipwrecks, we come across our first water level. If you still don't believe me that this takes place in Australia, then hopefully Mari, haha, I got his name right, saying this place is part of the Great Barrier Reef will convince you otherwise. From here, we are introduced to Perry the Platypus. If Perry took off his hat, retired to Australia, and changed his name to Rex. Luckily, Rex teaches us how to swim after asking us to check on his wife, who decided to swim through a pack of sharks, which is crazy to me. Listen, hear me out. When you see the sharks, you'll understand. And no, not that kind of hear me out. I actually need you to listen to that. Tangent aside, along with teaching us how to swim, Rex informs us that your boomerangs are trash and we need new ones. Specifically a pair of aqua rangs, because they can cut through water like a hot knife through butter. His words, not mine.
These are aqua rangs. They cut through water like a hot knife through butter.
After diving into the water, something that the game doesn't teach you until later in the game, I trigger the good job flag and I get to keep the aqua rangs. And as an added bonus, I unlock the no more dog paddle achievement for learning how to swim. Once we unlock the shark gate, allowing us to explore the rest of the map, we're introduced to Rex's good mate, the seahorse. We're never given a name, so we're going to refer to her as Rex's good mate from now on. As Rex's good mate gives us some intel and insists on following her, I do no such thing, as instead I explore the map to pick up Thunder Eggs, Golden Cogs, Opals, and of course, free my captured friends. In order to do so, I had to do some platforming, find 8 kidnapped sea dragon babies and bring them to their mum. Along the way, I ran into some nasty frails, and instead of throwing a curved stick at them, I decided to work towards an achievement. So from here on until otherwise, assume that every basic enemy I meet, I curve chomp on them. On the following day, I decided to try the good old unplug and replug trick for the game, and lo and behold, I was able to tackle the time attack challenge in 2-Up. Time attacks are really simple. It's just a race to the finish. In 2-Up, the time to beat is 38 seconds flat, and with how fast Ty's speed is, you can easily get that down by a good margin. However, I had a plan. So, I do what I can to slowly creep up to the finish line, clocking in at 37 seconds, giving me the Thunder Egg and a path for an achievement way later down the line. So keep that in mind. Going back to shipwrecks, I decided to try my hand at tossing my stick at some nuts. Coconuts, that is. Hey, got 'em. But no, seriously, I threw my rings at some coconuts to do some platforming, giving me another Thunder Egg. Why did I have to use the coconuts? Simple, because of the quicksand that they fell into. Afterwards, I came across a sunken ship and knew for a fact there had to be a way inside. After swimming around searching the surrounding area, freeing some friends, and getting more eggs, I still couldn't find a way. I know there's a button somewhere, but I just couldn't find it. Oh, never mind. At least I was able to acquire the Breaker Living achievement for getting 9 lions while I was on that button hunt. Once I grabbed literally everything in this first area, I decided to finally follow Rex's good mate, forcing me to dodge big meanie eels, and finally ran to the really, really big sharks. These should not be this big, right? I get that it's Australian. Literally everything there wants to eat you, or worse, especially with neurotoxin. But like, Really? These things are massive. Are they compensating for something? After dodging angry sharks and unlocking the final shark gate, I make my way to the tip top of,
Danger Spike.
yeah, that place. Taking out every enemy I come across, by the time I finally run into Elliot, I am 3 opals away from being able to get one of the last thunder eggs in this level. I have no idea where I missed them, but perhaps they're in a crate or something. Or that's the start of the level. How did I miss that? After claiming another golden cog and getting the last of the opals, I tackle the time attack and pass with flying colors. From here, I can pause the game and give you an idea on what my game plan is. As you can see, I have everything in this level completed with the exception of the 300 opal egg and the 3 picture frames. You may be asking yourself as I'm currently leaving the level, why doesn't he get the last thunder egg? That's really simple, because I don't want to collect the opals again. Once you collect the 300 opal thunder egg in a level, the opals respawn the next time you go into that level. Normally, this isn't bad. Steam thinks otherwise. You see, I don't know if it's like an oversight or a glitch of some sort, but the achievement that requires you to have gotten all of the opals does not trigger if you revisit a level under the circumstance I literally just mentioned. So, in order to prevent that and not waste time getting all 300 opals in a level, I decided to wait until the last item I need in said level is just that one thunder egg. I do this with all of the levels. Don't worry, in order to power the MacGuffin that Julius made to snag a talisman, we only need a total of 17 thunder eggs. And trust me, I have thoughts on that at the end of the video, unless I forget. Once we go back to the Bly Bly Station in Rainbow Cliffs, we hop onto our 3rd level, Walk in the Park. A beautiful spot where we go from a nice fun beach on a warm sunny day to a rainforest that doesn't know how to turn the rain shower off. Ah, just like home. After gracefully landing on my feet, I look around for the easy to get picture frame and hop onto the pillar for the first golden cog. Speaking of picture frames, in order to get them, you have to find a floating invisible box and throw a ring at it. And no, you can't bite them. I tried. Most of the time, if you know where to look or happen to be far enough, you can spot them. But it won't be until later where we will have a more dependable way to find these. Because of that, I continue on. Oh, were you expecting me to say something? I'm sorry, I have no idea what that could be. Moving on. As we traverse our way through the level, we learn about Ty's totally not girlfriend, Shazza, and how she needs our help. I don't really have a choice for a couple of reasons, both involving achievements, and so I press onward, saving some friends, dropping enemies, collecting opals, and so forth. I march on until I come across a river.
Listen, Ty, before you tackle this water slide, there are a few things you need to know.
Okay, I stand corrected. Water slide. It's actually kind of awesome. This is one of 2 water slides in this level, and as long as you are careful enough, you won't have to go down these too often to get all of the opals. Except for the second one. That one you'll need to traverse at least twice due to the fork in the slide. Once I make my way down the first slide, I run to a ranger named Ken. He's concerned about some bats, as he should be, and asks me to seek them out. Don't worry, it's for a good cause. Please, Peter, do not come after me. They do need to be saved. Just before I actually save the bats, though, I go to the other end of the cave and into this sort of chasm, I guess? I don't know. I guess it works. Anyway, it allows me to grab another golden cog, save a friend in need, and acquire a picture frame and a thunder egg. Now we can go save the bats by smacking them with my sticks. Once that's done, we get our reward.
Your eternal reward.
No, not that reward. The other reward. Thank you.
Oh, you beauty!
Now this is the longer water slide, but it's pretty easy to navigate because of course it is. This is like the first batch of levels in a platformer in the early 2000s. Once we reach the end of the water slide, we bite a leech for the Take That Leech achievement. Considering I need to keep biting enemies, I was going to unlock this one way or another, but I'll take a freebie. Speaking of freebies, did that turkey just steal my thunder egg? That chicken! I'm not going to like this, am I? Well, in order to get this thunder egg, we have to bite the turkey.
Yep.
You heard right. Now, instead of rushing the turkey, I decide to use my charge bite. Or wait, it's a super bite, right? I swear I did this joke earlier. Regardless, I have 2 attempts at this. Not the crates, the turkey! This is why I mentioned you can't control where you go earlier. You see, I needed to super bite the turkey for an achievement. Now I have to claim the rest of the opals for one more chance at that achievement. That's annoying. Boy, I sure hope I don't miss the next attempt. Moving on, we explore the surrounding area, acquiring more shinies as we do. And eventually, after dodging several boulders, we run into Shazza. She makes life very simple for us by asking to play a minigame while she refills her canteen by the river. I guess the only issue with her car is that the radiator's empty. Sweet. As I toss boulders onto the blue lizards, I remember that there's an achievement here. So long as I don't miss a single boulder, it's mine. I just have to not miss. And with that, I acquire Blue Tongue Bash as well as another Thunder Egg. Not only that, but by helping Shazza, I unlock this level's time attack. It's actually really fun. I have to race a wombat? I think that's a wombat. Anyway, I have to race this guy through the second water slide. Easy peasy. So easy, in fact, I decided to just leave the level after I realized I missed 2 opals, and I don't want to track through the entire level again just to find them. R.I.P. the turkey. Heading back to the Bly station, I talk to Julius, who has enough power in his machine. As we see the talisman pop into existence, we jump straight for it, instead of, casually walking up to it. But this does force us into the portal that leads us to our first boss battle, the Bull's Pen. This boss is pretty simple. There's a big pig and several giant termite mounds. All you need to do is trick the pig to run at one at full charge. Due to its massive body weight, it won't be able to slow down fast enough, in most cases, and crash into the mound, releasing so many termites onto its body as it screams in pain. Do this for a total of 5 times and you win. How do I know it's 5 times? Well, there's only 5 termite mounds. So, there you go. Once we defeat the boss, Ty pulls a talisman out of the ear magic trick and we are greeted with a cutscene. Along with the cheeky Disney's Hercules reference, that's using your head achievement. This then leads us to being spawned in the Rainbow Cliffs at Julius's humble abode, where he goes on and on and on and on about his new boomerang making device and something about excess Thunder Egg energy. TLDR, we get a new rank, the Flame Rang. This beautiful looking boomerang is super useful for the next 3 levels. Anyway, after being let go from the interlude, we go to the other side of the machine and cash in all 30 golden cogs we acquired from the early levels. The, what was it called again? The Cogulacious Extrapolapitus Boomafragafrager Doohickey thing?
I call it the Cogulacious Boomerangerous Extrapolator.
Yeah, whatever the hell it's called. We unlock the Zoomerang, Multi-Rang, and the 2 achievements associated with them, appropriately named, and I'm not joking, Zoom Zoom, and Throw. From here, we look for the shark-looking cave entrance and use our flame ring to shatter the ice blocking our path. Is that really ice? Wouldn't it have made more sense if it was a spider web? Something that would have been able to hold its shape enough to not melt because of the external temperatures within the cave? And don't give me that, well, it's actually cold in the cave, which causes ice to form nonsense, because there's a pool of water in the cave with plants growing in it. I think it's just the barrier the devs put in to force us to use a flamerang to progress. Tangent aside, before choosing a level, we get a hint of someone dangerous keeping an eye on us. Completely ignoring that, we accidentally collected our 3rd rainbow scale. As I decide which level to pick first, allow me to explain about the rainbow scale.
Oh, you little ripper, Ty! You found a fair dinkum rainbow scale! When you find enough, take them to the Bunyip Elder at Rainbow Cliffs.
Or Maury can do it. But here's the thing. What he doesn't tell you is that there's only 25 of them and you can't collect all of them until you're at the end of the game. It's not really fun when you complete each level beforehand, but in retrospect, if you only do the bare minimum and then go back after you collect all the rainbow scales, then it makes more sense. Finally, deciding to tackle the next level, I portaled to one of the most known landscapes of Australia, the Outback Safari. While on the way, we are treated to another cutscene.
You have done well, my friend. The information you supplied is invaluable. So someone thinks they can stop me obtaining all the talismans! Of course he will never succeed! I want this meddling mammal stopped at any cost!
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Those talismans are as good as mine. Begin phase 2!
I love Boss Cass. Can I borrow that?
Begin phase 2!
Oh yeah, I'm saving that for future use. Once the level begins, we are treated with a fun little level gimmick. Remember that pig boss we fought? Well, that beauty comes back and we hop on top of it. Using a lasso ring, literally only usable in this level, we decided to do the one thing we can do, make terrible buns and cause chaos. Hey, hey, Shazza, I heard you like cows. So, for some interesting things about this level, first and foremost are the opals. Instead of red, these opals are now blue. That, and they're only available in crates, which of course we get to smash. As for the minigames, all we gotta do is destroy stuff and wrangle up some birds. Sounds easy, right? Well, mostly. While doing the time attack, I did run into some trouble. For this time attack, which you can unlock by wrangling the birds for Shazza, you have to race Shazza. She gets a motorized vehicle, you get a big pig. Luckily, this pig is pretty fast, so I don't have to worry too much. Yeah, so for whatever reason, Shazza has a rubber band effect on her, which makes this race really difficult. That and the tornado, the jump across the waterfall, and the weird turns don't really help either. Luckily, I was able to find out that by using the pig's attack button, the big guy goes just a skosh faster, at least it looks and feels like it, giving me the win against Shazza and another blue thunder egg. I felt so cheated by this that when Murray asked me if I could help her out, I said no, and he called me a chicken. Listen, Murray, she clearly cheated in that race. It's not my fault. I'm justified for being upsetty spaghetti and not wanting to help her right away. At least, until I cool down and claim the Just Say No achievement. Then I suppose I can help her. As I continue my path to destruction, I do the heroic thing and help our old friend Ranger Ken put out some fires caused by frills, while also doing everything I can to destroy the abandoned town. It's totally the pig's fault, officer, I swear! After escaping the cops, I run into a slight problem. Although I just have about everything, I only have 295 opals, which means that I'm missing 5 crates somewhere in the level. That wouldn't be the worst thing, but I'm on top of a giant pig and the crates are similar enough color to the sand that I can't see them easily. Is this why Anakin hates sand so much?
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Not willing to give up, I decide to rack my brain constantly to think where the most likely place the crates would be. I run around the water basin area, check behind the waterfall, check behind the other waterfall, and finally come across the last of the opals near the minigame section where Ranger Ken is. I rush over to the device to claim my prize and immediately put this level behind me, after destroying literally everything I can. Super glad for those extra lives. Once we're back in the Rainbow Cliffs on a brand new day, I make my way over to the Bly Bly station. Now that I have the Flamerang, I can hop into the Walk in the Park level and snag another achievement. One that makes me question who is in charge of these achievements. Along the way, I bump up the visual quality, and I didn't notice anything until the Boulder Toss minigame. So apologies for anything crazy from here on out, including a sound increase. My bad, sorry about that. Regardless, we're here for 3 things. Bite that stupid turkey, cash in the opals because I found the last of them, and throw our Flamerang at Shazza, netting me the Hot Dingo achievement. Again, I really wonder who was in charge of naming these achievements. I think they have a thing for Shazza. Side note, if anyone is wondering, that's only our 11th achievement so far. Pressing forward! We make our way back to the Shark Cave and portal ourselves into one of my favorite levels, Bridge over the River Ty. Maury informs us about Dennis the Menace, Dennis the Green Tree Frog, and how he has a collection of thunder eggs. Keep in mind, for these batches of levels, they're blue thunder eggs, not red, and yes, I will point that out until you can guess as to why that is the case. If you have an idea or know the answer, put it in the comments below and proceed to yell at me when I bring it up again after you leave that comment. Before we make our way to Dennis the Cheapskate, Dennis the Green Tree Frog, I turned immediately behind me for the easily missable crates for the first batch of blue opals. As I'm pretty sure I have hinted at earlier in the video, I've played this game when I was shorter than I am now, so I'm well aware about these nasty little buggers. From here we make our way to Dennis, collecting everything we need to along the way. In the second half of the level, I see Dennis. Think about talking to him, and then decide otherwise because I had better things to do, like collecting shiny golden cogs and rescuing my friends from literal wooden cages. As I swim around, I run into Rex, and he teaches me the cool thing I already know how to do: diving. Turns out Dennis the cheapskate, Dennis the green tree frog, was supposed to take some diving lessons, but naturally he chickened out, so now I get the pre-paid lessons instead. Sucks to suck, I guess. After completing the super easy lemon squeezy extreme diving minigame, I unlock, quote unquote unlock, how to dive, and I also get a thunder egg. Speaking of golden cogs, now that I think about it, I did have some trouble with one particular golden cog in this level. There's one with a small platforming scale, and it's just barely far enough where you can't land on it easily. I think the game wants you to use a different ring that you get later in the game to help you with this, but I'm much too stubborn, and through several attempts, I call hacks on the level design and just barely make it to the edge, allowing me to claim my prize, and I still call hacks. As I'm running around, I come across an old friend, that stupid turkey. This is my chance, except now there's two of them, and I have to bite both of them to claim a thunder egg. Now it may sound easy, but there is a time limit before the turkey you just bit recovers, and you have to play monkey in the middle until you're fast enough to take out both turkeys. That didn't stop me though, because I was able to use a super bite. Sadly, I don't think that gave me the achievement since I didn't get the thunder egg from the turkey I used it on, but I did get the thunder egg in the end, so I'll take it. Getting back to the main task of avoiding Dennis for as long as possible, I run into Murray, who warns me of Neddy.
Neddy. Yes, Neddy. He's the biggest, toughest bully this side of the black stump.
A bully, you say? Well, that's not going to stand while I'm here. Here's a free lesson in life for those who are having trouble with bullies. They're probably bullying you for a number of reasons. But if you steel your nerves and stand up to the bully, they'll give you respect, whether they will admit it or not. Now, I'm not saying to fight fire with fire, or to get revenge on the bully to the point where you yourself becomes the bully, or do something to get you fired from your job. But what I am saying is that depending on your circumstance, show them that you don't like being picked on and that you won't let them pick on you anymore. PSA aside, I take my own advice and throw my rings at Neddy. Listen, violence was literally the only answer to this problem. But Neddy now considers me a new friend and hands me a thunder egg, and I make sure he promises not to be so mean to anyone else, or else I'm coming back for him. He's a real sweetheart underneath though. Just a little thick-headed. With just about everything done, I finally talk to Dennis the green tree frog, and help him find his way home. Despite there's clearly enough torchlight for him to be able to do it himself. After guiding him home, he asked me to kickstart his pilot light so he could take a warm bath. Wow, dude, not cool. But I do have the flamerang, so I guess if it means saving Ty's parents, I have to give it a go. 8 lights later, I get a much-needed sign of appreciation from Dennis and proceed to check out his mailbox. Why would I do that?
Hi, this is Dennis. I'm sorry, but I've stepped out to take a bubble bath. If you could leave your name and number at the sound of the beep, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Ciao.
For the leave a message achievement, of course. After winning the second last thunder egg from the time attack, I head over to the final level of this cave. Snow Worries, one of my other favorite levels, and yes, I have more than one, and it's a total of 3 in case you're wondering. Starting off, we're sort of introduced to Sheila, who was allegedly the sole survivor of an avalanche. She claims it was Booney's fault, but I don't know, man. Seems kinda sketchy to me. Speaking of Booney, he's a little koala cub, Joey? Wait, are koala cubs really called Joeys? Ignoring random facts of life that I didn't want to talk about on this channel, including other things, it's time to explore the snow level. There isn't too much for me to talk about in this level until much later, so for now I'll give you a brief rundown of the fun parts. There's this frozen lake with a golden cog on it that you can slide onto, but you have to move at a snail's pace if you want the cog, and then you have to jump for it anyway. Within the frozen lake is a lobster you have to smack several times and trap with falling stalactites for a thunder egg, and there's a cave with musical icicles that gets you another thunder egg. Lastly, I don't like the sawmill, but along the way there is a arena trap that's really fun to go into with the multi-rang. While playing this level, I was also able to finally unlock the "My, what big teeth do you have" achievement for biting 200 enemies. As tedious as that ended up being, there's still 2 more kill count based achievements I need, but at least those aren't as many and the enemies don't jump out of the way when you try to bite them. Before we leave the level, I just have one more thing to say. I have no idea finding all the Joeys or getting the thunder egg at the top of the mill unlocks the time attack for this level. So if you played this game before, or Googled it for me, please let me know in the comments below. With everything but the kitchen sink, the 300 opal thunder egg, and the picture frames in tow, we head back to Julius and jump into another portal for our talisman, which of course means a boss battle. This time we're fighting a shark, but not just any shark. This shark is a cyborg, complete with the bite attack that deals 1/4 of your current HP. And that's it. Yeah, he's a real pushover. As cool as he looks, and he kind of looks like a tiger shark, all you gotta do is swim real fast, throw your rang at a submerged oxygen tank to knock it loose from the coral, wait for him to start chewing on it while you are on a safe platform, and toss your flamerang at the oxygen tank. Do this for a total of 3 times, and we're treated to a free Willy cutscene and the free Crikey achievement, which just so happens to confirm my suspicion that he is indeed a tiger shark. Before we insert the second talisman and head to Julius for new rangs, welcome to the probable halfway point in the video where I get to talk to you briefly about Dice of Chaos. No need to worry, this isn't a sponsor, but I do want to mention the Real Play TTRPG, where various characters are set loose upon their respective worlds to wreak havoc, confuse NPCs, and at some point, save the world. Hopefully. I'll have the link below, and if YouTube finally decides to allow it, you'll actually be able to click on it instead of copying and pasting it. So, if you're curious, feel free to check out Dice of Chaos on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so that you too can embrace the chaos one thread at a time. Before we get back to Ty, I just want to add something. If you're enjoying the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I may not be able to upload as often as you may think, so if you're waiting desperately for a new video, having that notification on will really save you in the long run. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the reason why you're here. Now that we bought enough time to save us from Julius's long-winded explanations, we have access to the 3 new rangs and 2 achievements associated with them. I don't know why the Flame Ring gets an achievement while the Frosting Ring and the one after this doesn't, but okay, I guess. Speaking of Frosting, it's pretty cool. Aside from the new elemental rank, we also got the See the Unseen and Megarific achievements for acquiring the Infa rank and the Mega rank from the second batch of 30 cogs. I also just realized I never really explained the cogs very well. Basically, Julius needs 15 of them for these neat techno ranks, and since each level has 10 cogs, I figured I would just save time and just get 30 at a time. Now that we finally have the Infa rank, it's time to set one of my plans into motion. As Julius explained earlier, we can use the Infa rank to help us snag all those pesky picture frames, which means that it's time to finally cash in those stored opals in each level while we run around like a headless chicken with a super loud sonar sound effect buzzes while we're close to a visible object. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Fun fact, there's also picture frames in the Rainbow Cliffs as well. I guess they had to make up for the lack of frames in the Outback Safari, huh? Well, with the backtracking, I was able to accomplish a few things. Since I had already claimed a 300 opal egg in the Walk in the Park, I had to reobtain all the opals. But although it does give me one step closer to the opal achievement for later, I also now have 3 chances for the Super Bite Turkey achievement. Now, I know you're wondering, by this point, did I do it? Yeah, so after 3 minutes of trying to get a good shot, got it. I was indeed giving me the Super Turkey achievement, and I was lucky enough to get it on the first try. And I didn't even get all the opals yet at that point. Don't worry, I still had to get all the opals as I mentioned earlier. Afterwards, I made my way to see Nettie and make sure he wasn't causing any more trouble. To my sheer disappointment, he was back to his old ways, and I had to sit down with them. Let's hope he learned his lesson this time. Aside from that, I was able to unlock the Nice and Toasty achievement for defeating 100 enemies with the Flamerang. And that's before I burned the cricket sticks. Well, yeah, so we'll come to that when it comes up. But finally, I find myself in Snow Worries. This is where I bring up the annoyance I have with Snow Worries. There are 24 frames in this level, and although it's not the level with the most, it is so far, and with all the snow, I spent way too long looking for these things. Once I only needed one more, I was so frustrated that I paused the game and looked up the guide just to find it. Turns out I was really close to it, but it was in a really strange spot. With that out of the way, I make my way to the last 3 levels before the end of the game.
You go first.
No, you go first.
Well, I went first last time.
Get in here! Did you take care of that troublesome Tasmanian tiger?
Well, that's just the thing, see?
He's kind of, good.
What? I cannot believe that a rat could outwit my two best lizards.
He's too tough for us, boss. I was thinking, instead of trying to stop it, maybe we should,
You okay, boss?
Come over here. Just come over here. I won't hurt you. Now, what's my name?
Cash?
No, that's my last name. What's my first name?
Oh, I know.
Let him answer.
Boss?
That's right. And I ain't only boss around here. And I do all the thinking. Now get out of my sight. Imbeciles. I've surrounded myself with numbskull imbeciles.
Maybe I can help. After all, who knows Tasmanian tigers better than me?
Who indeed?
As Boss Gas becomes more iconic of a villain, R.I.P. Frill, we load into Rex Marks the Spot and we're off on a treasure hunt. Although this is the second and final water level in this game, for as big of a map this is, there's only 18 frames in this level. Much more manageable than 24. Plus, we get to swim around and abuse the health system in this game should we need it. You see, whenever you take damage, you can easily heal yourself so long as there's a deep enough body of water in the level. All you have to do is submerge and resurface. Since the game switches from land-based HP and the water-based HP, anytime you come up to the surface for air, the game resets to land-based HP, giving you full health. This will probably become handy later. As we explore the level, we have to protect Rex and Ellie from a giant octopus, blow up some boats, race Rex again, and it turns out that sunken treasure was just a green thunder egg. It's simple, fun, and as long as this level doesn't glitch out forcing you to only be able to get 299 opals, it's easy peasy. To address the elephant I just presented, yes. That can happen, and although in this playthrough it didn't happen to me, thankfully, it did happen to me once before. If this does happen to you and you really want that thunder egg, all you have to do is save a super bite and head to the spot and charge up. You should get the last opal that way, but if you leave the level, you will lose all your charges, and since you couldn't cash in the opals for a thunder egg, they won't respawn. So do be careful with that. From here, we jump into the other tedious level in the game, Beyond the Black Stump. I don't know if it's because of Sheila or the fact the only other snow level just also happens to have the most fixture frames we need to collect, but in either case, you can start seeing why its level is tedious for the 100%. Similar to Snow Worries, we have to find all 8 Joeys again, but this time, Booney is in 2 places. Not only do I have to find him amongst the flames, but he ran away looking for a thunder egg. Once I finally catch up to him, he gets super moody and runs away from me. After bringing him to Birdman, he finally gives up the egg and I continue onwards to meet up with Kevin. Naturally, I'm using my info rank to find and collect all of the picture frames while collecting the other goodies in this level. This also involves me jumping into Rafflesias. Strange how that works. On the other hand, Ken needs me to stop some frills from terrorizing the cable cars. By switching between the Infarang and the Zoomerang, I tackle 2 birds by taking out the frills and uncovering frames. Sadly, I do have to make my way back to the beginning of the cable cards, but at least it's not for nothing. Once I'm back on top of the cards, I press on and reach the end of the map. Carefully gliding, I gather the remaining opals, golden cogs, and the final minigame by helping Ken out for the last time. At least for now. After doing the second last time attack, I stay in the level and silently scream in agony as my ears are bombarded with sonar sounds as I trudge my way to find the last remaining frames. Once that's done, I had to find the last golden cog. Yeah, so it turns out it was covered in snow towards the end of the map. Luckily for me, it was a quick Rafflesia trip up to the portal and onto the final level. I forgot that this was at one point one of my favorite levels. There's only 2 things about this level I like: the water slide and Lenny. Welcome to Liar Liar Pants on Fire. We're dropped in from above and introduced to one of the best characters.
Howdy ho! The name's Lenny. Lenny the Lyrebird.
If you don't know what a lyrebird is, here's an example. Apparently, someone kidnapped Princess Orchid and we must follow Lenny to where she's being held hostage. This is a pretty obvious lie, right? Well, so long as there's a Thunder Egg at the end, I might as well go along with it. Along the way, I throw my flame rings at him until I lock the Bird Burn achievement. As we make our way through the rainforest, I'm forced to dodge traps, cross chasms, search for the usual, collect the remainder picture frames, aside from like 2 rainbow clips, and slide down the water slide multiple times. Unlike the one from Walk in the Park, this one splits off 2 separate times. This is important for 2 and only 2 reasons. The first is clearly for opals, and the second is for the time attack. During said time attack, so long as we pick the shortest routes, we'll be able to beat the wombat easy peasy. As I near my destination, I take a wrong turn and run to Sheila once more. Thankfully, she hasn't lost the Joeys, but this time I need to reroute a water pipe to bring the surrounding area back to life again. Once I get my Thunder Egg, I'm off to rescue Princess. Sadly, not that princess. Unless you guys want me to do 100% of Slay the Princess, leave a like and comment below, please. Carrying on, Looney leaves me be and I head up to the location where the princess is, but only after I run around to collect everything I can, earning me both the Find All the Billibies and the You Found the Last Opal achievements. Now we can go save Princess. And lo and behold, Lenny lied yet again and I'm introduced to a mini boss battle. Unless this Tasmanian Tigert is Princess Orchid, and we're dealing with an Ashley situation. I couldn't really think of anything else while I was writing the script, so as I attack this mysterious figure whose true name is Sly, I remember a fun little strat against him. There's 2 ways to take him down at a fast pace. The first is to freeze him after he throws his cool looking boomerang. When the rain comes back, he takes damage and falls to the ground, taking damage for some reason. The problem with this is pretty simple. You have to hit him while he's trying to hit you. And sometimes, if you don't have the lives, you can get knocked out pretty easily. Plus, I think if you lose a life, you have to restart this fight anyway, so like, what's the point? The second and objectively better approach is to use the Frosty Ring from the get-go. Once he's frozen, you have just enough time to switch and throw the Flame Ring. He takes a single hit, but while he's stunned, you have enough time to switch to the Frosty Ring and hit him with that. Rinse, repeat, and I earn the Brotherly Love achievement. If you think we're done, you are sadly mistaken, because now we have to confront Lenny about his lies as he tries to weasel his way out of it by claiming that there's something wrong with his furnace. Although naturally he lies about how to solve this mystery. By cooling down the furnace, we get our second last Thunder Egg. All we need to do now is complete the time attack and fight another boss. As mentioned before, the time attack is really easy, and once I win that final race, I unlock the complete all the time attacks achievement for completing all the time attacks. Huh, neat. Once that's done, there's just the boss for this area to take down, and it's a giant monkey. Hey, where's that Cusco clip with Yzma? Surprisingly, it's not a monkey, but a giant mech. That's kind of awesome, actually. This boss requires a lot of running around and a constant switch between your Flame Ring and your Frosty Ring. Definitely the hardest boss so far, and probably the whole game. Once you reveal the mech after burning it off its fursuit, you just have to heat it up so much that it melts the ice and becomes trapped. Afterwards, we learn that a lizard gal is piloting the mech and giving me an idea for a character in Dice of Chaos. Afterwards, we switch between the Frosty Ring and the Flame Ring to make it cold and then make it hot. I'm guessing this has something to do involving physics or chemistry. Well, I don't get paid for either, so we'll ignore that. And after the final attack, several explosions and the... Hey, I said several explosions? Thank you. After several explosions and gaining the Foil Fluffy achievement, we are introduced oh so briefly to Fluffy as she compliments us on destroying her mech. And with that, we're in the home stretch for our first run of the game. Trust me, it's only 2. But with Fluffy defeated and the other talisman in the magic rock thingy, we meet up with Julius one last time in this run. By giving him the green Thunder Eggs, we learn that these guys are more powerful than the other Thunder Eggs, and by concentrating that power, we get the Zappy Rangs. Naturally, we cash in the remaining cogs and acquire the most busted boomerang and the ring that really could have done more, introducing the Kaboomerang and the Chronorang. The Kaboomerang makes a big boom and the Chronorang slows down an enemy when it hit. It also doesn't do any damage, but it's good in a race, I guess. With these 2 unlocked, I also unlock Shake the Room, Slow Down Kid, and the Boomerang King achievements. But we're not done quite yet. By chance, do you remember way back in a tutorial level known as 2-Up and how I slowed down my time for that time attack? Well, now that we have the Chronorang, I make my way back there and tackle that time attack for the final time of this run. While running the race, I make sure to have the Chronorang equipped. After proving I could complete this race in about 30 seconds or so, I grab myself the Time Attack Slowdown achievement. Feeling good about myself, I equip my new Zappy Rangs and rush through the level, making sure to hit literally every enemy I see with the Zappy Rang. There's 2 more achievements involving rangs, and a Zappy Rang is needed for one of them. That, and I still need the last Thunder Egg for the Opals, which also puts us at nearly 100% of the game, which isn't entirely true, and I won't understand why for the first time until much later. But with all 72 Thunder Eggs, 45 free Bilbies, 90 Golden Cogs, every single picture frame from every single level, and almost all of the Rainbow Scales, can you blame me? The answer is no, please don't. Speaking of Rainbow Scales, it's time to finish grabbing the picture frames from Rainbow Cliffs and the last of the scales. The scales are only available in Rainbow Cliffs, which makes sense given the name, and are spread throughout the area. There are 3 that you can only grab once Julius moves from his grabby machine, which means that until you defeat Fluffy, you cannot get all of them. Plus, there's one behind the big steel doors that you need the Zappy Ring to unlock. Once I grab the last scale, tucked in by a waterfall, the Bunyip Elder manifests into a physical form and doubles my health pool. A little late given how I went about the game, but I'll take it. I also got the Get All the Rainbow Scales achievement for this as well, which means there's only one thing left to do. Make sure that everything's been acquired and head to the final level, Cass's Pass. As we travel through space-time, we are treated to one last glorious cutscene with Boss Cass.
Did you take care of our little problem?
I tried, but he's stronger than I thought.
He's stronger than you thought. How hard can it be? He's just a little orange rat.
He has friends. The Bunyips are helping him.
What? Then the stakes have been raised. To take over the world, I must have those talismans. I need them to open the portal to the dream time so I can banish all those annoying warm-blooded mammals once and for all. Present company accepted, of course. Well, if our orange friend is so intent on finding the talismans, then I say let him. My metal menace here will take care of him and steal back the talismans to boot. It's so simple, it's brilliant.
You know, as brutal as Boss Cass is, the timing of his delivery is just peak. Also, RIP Frill number 2. F's in the chat, guys. Wait, I don't have a chat. This level is interesting. It's a simple run and gun like level that tests all the skills you have built up throughout the game, and I take down every enemy with the Zappy Ring. This is great because there are a lot of enemies. Towards the end, there's a bit of a moat, and what you're supposed to do is eat the floating egg drones and navigate that way because the water has mines and gators, so sure, why not? I could swim through it, but what fun would that be? At the very end of the level is a portal that leads to Boss Cass's lair, and waiting for me at said portal are some enemies with cricket bats and Mori. After a final farewell and good luck, I burn all the bats and zap all the enemies. I need those numbers after all. Once that's done, I head into the last stretch of the game. For a nice change of pace, I enter the appropriately named Cass's Crest and jump into a pool of definitely not hot water. Doesn't stop me though as I scramble for a nice dry spot before meeting up with Shazza. How did she get here? I'll never know. But she was able to acquire talismans, so that makes 4 out of 5. Oh, come on! I have to deal with another mini-boss? Man, they don't make getting these talismans easy, do they? This is less of a mini-boss and more so an obstacle. You have to hit a button that lets loose some steam that you then jump onto to progress further into the level. The Bat Lady, apparently named Shadow, is really just there to add some tension. After blowing off some steam, Shadow takes off and drops the talisman. Leaving it in Shazza's care, I carry on, but not without getting the From the Shadows achievement first. As we make our way to the big door across the little bridge, we run into Sly once more, and after a brief cutscene, we save his life, and he runs off, claiming we'll regret this. Sorry, dude, I'm sure you'll come back and save our life somehow as a form of repayment and atonement for working for the bad guy. Once we get past the big metal door, we run into yet another cutscene and jump into Boss Cass's giant robot and onto the final battle. Okay, we made it. This is the true final stretch, last level of the game, hands down, no ifs, buts, and or wheres, and I'm trailing off. Anyway, all we have to do is freeze the flamethrowers, fight them, toss some rings at the doors and get into the robot, throw a lot of rings until all the central wires are destroyed, and into yet another cutscene. This finale is really getting cinematic as Sly shows up, tosses us a new boomerang and betrays Boss Cass, all before jumping off the robot without a ring. I hope he'll be okay. That being said, I think this is where the Boomerang King achievement should have been unlocked. because we actually get to use this beauty. The Doomerang is unlike any other ring. Once thrown, we get to do a sweet close-up and fully control where the ring goes. By tossing into the open neck of the robot, we just have to navigate through the insides without messing up until... No! Oh, whoops, let's try that again. We just have to navigate through the insides without messing up until... We trigger the last cutscene, beat Boss Cass, instant blast of the talismans, save our parents, and unlock the following achievements. Boss Cass smacked, get all the things. And once the credits roll, we get to see a secret ending which unlocks the Psy Lives achievement. Now that the game is done, I'm at 100%. I can now question why I only have 127 out of 373 picture frames. This isn't a glitch. As it turns out, there are 2 bonus levels within the game, which are only unlocked when you have a 100% game file. I had no idea this was a thing until I started playing this game for the channel, and what I discovered for the first time was a complete disaster. After making my way to one of the bonus levels, I had this absolutely genius idea to equip the infra ranks. In my defense, I'd never done these bonus levels before, so I didn't know what to expect. A warning for those with sensitive hearing, but needless to say, this happened. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It was fun for the most part, and once I robbed both bonus levels of the picture frames, I unlocked the Find All the Picture Frames achievement and make your way to the last run of the game. Now that we have officially reached 100% in the first game file, it's time to do it all again, but in hardcore mode. This mode plays exactly the same as the original game, but with a simple twist. You have exactly 1 life. There are no 1-ups in this mode. Luckily, the enemies don't get harder, so let's enjoy ourselves to an easy win. After all, I just beat this game 100%, so surely this is gonna be a cakewalk. No! Huh. Well, at least it gave me the Game Over, Man achievement, and I can start anew. And yes, I tried to make an Aliens reference with that. Now, could I have unlocked 2 achievements at the same time by dying in Rainbow Cliffs? Yes. Yes, I could have. But I already have them now, so it's too late for that. This time around, I decided to hold off on getting as much done as I can in each level until I defeat Fluffy and collect all the rainbow scales. Honestly, doing it this way is much more enjoyable. I get to actually utilize the second life and not panic when I get hit 2 or 3 times. While going through the entire game again, I unlock the last of the ring-based achievements, the Ashes and Tesla Time. From here, all I do is kick Boss Cass to the curb, which gives me a near perfect game file, as well as unlocking the final achievement, Boss Cass Smacked Hardcore, and Get All the Things Hardcore. But I'm not done yet. In order to fully gain 100%, I must get all of the picture frames in the bonus level. Since I can't die in those levels, unless I purposely fall 8 times from a really high place, I finally get 100% and tie the Tasmanian Tiger. Wow, there was a lot to cover in this game, and honestly I'm a bit surprised. Well, it is that time of video where I give you some of my final thoughts on the game. This time, with some rose-tinted glasses. I first played this game on the GameCube, and it was one of those games I would play over and over. But as time moved on, as did I, and I no longer had a GameCube. Big sag. Once I switched over to PC at some point, I discovered this goodie on Steam, and after not playing it for so long, this game is ridiculously easy. Makes sense, seeing as it was probably designed for younger fans, but with that being said, I had a blast, and it felt nice just to one-shot enemies and plow through the levels. It adds a form of replayability I don't often see with modern games, at least for now. That being said, I do have some issues with the game, and yes, to address the final elephant in the room, I am aware that the version of Ty on the PC is a Kickstarter project by Chrome Studios, which is actually kind of cool. As for the issues, I did notice a couple graphical errors, like layering, I guess. Sorry, I'm not a big behind-the-scenes kind of guy, but basically when it came to certain things like the picture frame behind the waterfall and the walk in the park level, it was almost impossible to see unless you're at just the right angle. You know, simple things like that. Plus, man, this game is dated, and it's easy to see in the dialogue. Some of the jokes are still really funny though. Even Maury's comment about Booney is still oddly relevant. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger will be one of those games I keep coming back to for some good fun, a trip down memory lane, and all in all a reasonable game to just run around. Its fast gameplay is really fun as well, without the stress of everything on screen at once. If you're looking for a much older game with some wacky characters and a plot without too much thought, I would recommend this one. With that, it's time to put this game away until another day. This has been the Late Night Gamer, and I will see y'all on another night. Until then, keep dreaming.